my pet peeves about responding is I really do not like this. Today we're going to be talking about how to make sure the manufacturer you chose is legitimate for you. And let's start. Your manufacturer, here's the thing that you've got to do. You've got to make sure you follow all the points, the key points, to make sure that they give you what you're looking for, what you're requesting, what you're requiring in a manufacturer. There are 3 steps that you should take to make sure you have the right manufacturer or the right manufacturer within your database. The first step is they respond to you within 24 hours. It might be 3 hours, might be 5 hours, might be 24 hours. That's because sometimes you're talking to someone out of the country and while you're up there asleep. But definitely don't go past 48 hours and 36 hours because that's too long. Here's the thing about taking that long to wait for a manufacturer or a supplier to respond to you. They're gonna do the exact same thing when you want your product. They're gonna take too long to respond to you. And you are waiting to get your product or launch your products to your customers and you're waiting on them and they're not responding. No matter what the reason is. I mean, I don't mean to be harsh or anything. If there's death in the family, get somebody else on the line to talk to you. Get somebody else that's working with you to get to me, to give me the answers that I need. Make sure they respond within a certain amount of time. I absolutely do not like to work with a supplier or a manufacturer or someone that I'm setting my product with if they don't have a phone number that I can call them and talk to them. I cannot deal with the 24-hour customer support. 24 hours will turn over to 48 hours. So, I mean, unless they'll give me superb satisfaction across the board with everything else they're working with me with, I will deal with the customer support. But if they're not, I'm not working with someone who don't have a phone number that I can pick up and call. And there are a couple of them that we work with that they have no phone numbers. It takes them 48 hours, 36 hours to respond. And it just drives me crazy. Because remember, I'm on a timeline. This is what I work by every day. So I don't have time to keep switching you over to 3 days later trying to get you to respond to me. I'm gonna move on. I don't have time to wait 3 days, 4 days for you to respond to me, whatever the reason is. Technology is too advanced today for me to wait for you. So what I will do is I will put you in my database, but you will be way down the line. It's not gonna happen with me. I believe in customer support. I believe in superior customer support. I believe in responding to people. Customers, suppliers, whatever. That's why I check my emails at least 4 times a day. No matter where I am, I check my emails 4 times a day. So it drives me crazy when my phone breaks. Because then what? That's prolonging me. Remember in my first video I said you got a timeline? Always remember you have a timeline. You are working with on everything. You stay with that timeline, your launch is gonna be successful, customers gonna buy from you, because why? Because they believe in you. Why? Because you respond to their questions in an adequate amount of time. If I hire somebody and they have some reason why they didn't respond to a particular customer within my database that they're working on, chances are you're going to get suspended or you're out the door. Customer satisfaction is the best thing in the world. That's why my dad, Mr. Burns at Burns Barbecue, the smokehouse legend, became as big as he did. Because they asked him the number one thing about his competitors. He said, I don't have competitors. He said, I just make sure my customers are satisfied. Every time they walk out in the door and walk out the door, they are totally satisfied. That's what builds your database of customers. That's what builds your database of suppliers and manufacturers. 24 hours is the longest I will take, or I will allow for someone to get back with me. Number 2, good communication. I will not allow someone to tell me they're gonna manufacture my product. They're not gonna tell me when. They're not gonna tell me when they're gonna begin. They're not gonna tell me how many people are working on it. They're not gonna tell me where is it being manufactured. If they're not communicating with me about my product, guess what? Chances are you're out the door. Communication is very important. If they say, well, I'll probably have it ready for you, let's say in about a week, can we fine tune that down to more than a week? Or you talking about Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday of next week? What are you talking about? Let's define it a little bit more. I like being very definitive. I really do. So if you're gonna say Thursday, maybe Friday, then let it be Thursday, maybe Friday. Don't let it linger on. Like one of my suppliers, it went from Thursday to Friday to the next week. To the next week, he didn't respond. The next week, now mind you this, he had my product already. I purchased the product and had it shipped to him. And then by the third week, guess what? He was in the hospital with a friend. They had a lot of issues. They had this. And I'm asking, what does that have to do with me? You never responded back to me. So guess what? He was what? Out the door. Did I lose product? Yes, I did. Didn't even ask my product back. The first time I asked my product back, I'll be there on Monday. Wasn't there on Monday. I called, okay, well, I'm not gonna be able to be there today, but what about Thursday? By Thursday, I didn't show. I had already wiped them out. Timelines are very important. Communication is very important. So if they say they're gonna do it on this date, hold them to it. Because now we can develop a relationship with each other. When Braden Brand comes, if you say you're gonna have a product ready Thursday, have a product ready Thursday. If it's not gonna be Thursday, you might just give her a phone call and let her know it's gonna be Friday or Saturday. So she can adjust her time too. Good communication is very, very important when you're dealing with a product that you're trying to get to your customers. Make sure that you answer all the questions you need to answer for your supplier so they can get your product ready. Don't let them decide if the color blue that you want is the color blue they think you're gonna have, you want to have. Make sure they understand that they have to call you and tell you, we have to change up on the blue. Well, technology is so big now, can you send me a sketch of a print of what the blue look like that you want to send to me? Or you want to prepare for me? Make sure they don't decide on their own that your product is going to be printed in a different shade of blue. Make sure that they understand that good communication and meeting your timeline and making sure your product is exactly as it's supposed to be that you gave to them. And how are you going to do that? You're going to tell them, send the last draft of the product to me so I can confirm. And we both can confirm. We can both at this point, guess what? Now we're building a relationship. Because you're not going to take my product and change the red to dark pink. Because you think it look okay. Because you ran out of red. That's bad communication. So listen, make sure they contact you. Hey, Braden Brand, I have a question. You answer all of their questions. They answer all of your questions. and everybody will be on the same length. Like I say this here, we're both right. This is a bonus. Make sure that they give you a sample of what it's going to look like. So you'll know and they will know exactly what it's supposed to look like. Then you know they're legit because they're gonna print up a sample, they're gonna send it to you. Now if it's exactly what you and that supplier has been talking about, the colors are right, the timing is right, the quality is right, chances are that sample is gonna be right. Please make sure you have a legitimate supplier you are working with so that your product will be ready, so that the end result, your customer is satisfied. Only thing that matters, your customer is satisfied. Because guess what? The retention level of your customer is going to come back 10 times more. And they're going to share with other people that, oh, you need to deal with this company because this company, every question you have, they're going to answer. They're going to have good communication with you before you even get your product. And then they're going to follow up and make sure that your product is right. Remember, please, legitimate manufacturers, they communicate, they meet your timeline, they give you samples, they don't make decisions on their own.